What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the holy mess. Now, I talked a little bit about Jamal Bryant and his most recent proposal and engagement, and I say most recent because this is not his first. And listen, this might not be his last, but we don't know. We know previously to him popping the question to his co-pastor, he previously was engaged to be married to the singer Tweet. And she called that off. And I think she also called off her Christendom also. So I don't know what happened in that relationship to cause her to, one, call it off, but two, to say, I'm done with church. I'm done with this Christian mess. I'm not saying that she doesn't believe in God or Jesus or whatever anymore, but I do believe that some things happened that turned her off to this church world. And I think some of it, I don't know, but again, I'm just sharing what I think. I think some of it may have to do with the fact that Jamal Bryant sees this as a business, and this first lady situation that I don't even think is really biblical. I do believe in a husband having the wife that they choose to be in a relationship together. So not saying a husband is having a wife so that he can have a helpmeet, but you're both supposed to be helping each other. You're choosing to go through life together, for better, for worse, richer, poorer, in sickness and health, till death do you part. Unfortunately, a lot of people get a lot of that stuff mixed up and twisted, or get into these relationships with people for all of the wrong reasons. And I'm not saying that people should just always be struggling in relationships, but it's making a conscious decision to be with somebody for life. A lot of people aren't in it for that. They're in it for what they can get. So it's like, why get married? Just create an agreement where this man is going to take care of you, and he's agreeing to what your rules and your desires and your requirements are, and let it be that. Because then you get people like Portia Williams, who is on her second or third divorce. I can't even count at this point. And it's always something going on with them in the blogs, which I'm completely over, but it's entertaining. So I'll talk about it. But I wanted to talk about this because for most people who are familiar with Jamal Bryant, they know that he is someone that has had political ambitions. I think even more so than church ambitions. And we know, being in politics, for most politicians, not all, but for most, it's more desirable if you have a spouse or you're soon to be married. Because Tim Scott, who has been in Congress, and then I believe he was recommended or whatever he was by the former governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, who just recently tried to run for president and bombed and failed. But she was the one that put him basically in the Senate to be one of the only black male senators. But when he wanted to start being seen as a candidate, an actual real candidate for the president and now vice president, he went and got himself a woman contracted to become his girlfriend and then eventually his fiance, because he proposed to her. And it's like, please, who do you think you're really fooling with this? After all of these years, nobody ever knew about you being in a relationship with a woman. And now all of a sudden you go and you get an agreement with this woman to say, look, I need this. This can work out for both of us. Let's just go ahead, get this contract, you sign, and then you act like you are my fiance and we're going to get married. I don't even know what it is at this point in time, because he did that and nobody was buying it except him, because he paid for it. But listen, this isn't about Tim Scott, but I'm talking about politics and how for a lot of these people, especially the men, it's more palatable for people, especially on that conservative side, not so much the Democratic side, but either way, if you're a man and you don't have a spouse, they look at you funny. They are not really that sure about you. They may give you a chance or a shot, but most of the time it's preferable if you're married. So with Jamal Bryant having these political ambitions and now he's proposing marriage to this woman, it makes me think that this is definitely something to help to boost his image in that political arena. But the other thing is he allegedly has another child that he isn't claiming out in the public. Now, when I did a reaction to some commentary that I watched and shared on yesterday, he did a sit down on a podcast. There was a clip in that commentary or in that content where I did commentary on that he said that he has 6 children by 3 women. Now, I was listening to some content and allegedly he has another child that he is not claiming in the public eye. So I want to play a little bit of this. I'm going to put the full video link in the description box because it's over 2 hours long. She went live and she was actually having a conversation with the woman that I mentioned yesterday. So this is actually the same content creator that I mentioned yesterday where I said that I saw some content years ago where his girlfriend at the time came out and exposed him when he was supposedly dating Giselle again, and it was all for a storyline for the Real Housewives of Potomac. So I want to play a little bit of this, and so let's just go ahead and get into this right now.
He will acknowledge a couple of the children that he's had since his marriage. He doesn't acknowledge them all. And so I wonder, which brings me to my question, right? I wonder if he is not yet still at a place where he can just stand 10 toes down and say, look, this here what I had done, right? These here is my babies, okay? I got 6 girls, because according to Larry Reed, he got 6 girls and not 5. Now, I was counting, and he got 3 with Giselle. We know that before he married Giselle, he cheated on Giselle with a lady and got pregnant, and that's the oldest daughter. That's 4. While he was married to Giselle, he cheated, and he got a baby. I can't remember if that was a girl or a boy.
A girl.
Okay, well then that would be 5. Now, but he got 6 because right around that time 3 years ago when I interviewed you and we were talking about Jamal, all this hit stuff was out there. I spoke with the last baby girl mama. That baby would be about 3 years old.
So you're accurate. Yeah. So I'll put my pastor hat on here. Is that if you look at how Jamal moves, the pathology of Jamal is Black church theology. What he does know is we believe in these concepts and ideals of redemption. And so he plays on that without providing the necessary apologies that is due to these people that he has harmed. And we give Jamal a get out of jail free card based on our ideal of Black liberation theology, or this ideal of just forgiveness or redemption, right? It's an easy pass. If you go to Isaiah chapter 1, this is what God knows that Israel does. So he doesn't require sackcloth and ashes. He said, because that's what you do all the time to get back into my good graces. He said,
I want to pause it for a moment. So the person you hear speaking right now, her name is Tanya Griffin, and she actually is the woman that claimed that she was in a relationship with Jamal Bryant when Jamal Bryant was supposedly dating Giselle again, which was all a storyline for the Real Housewives of Potomac. And she is a minister, I believe. She's a pastor. I think she was working with him at that church also. So she is also familiar with his current fiance as well.
This is what I need you to do this time. I'm going to switch it up. He says, I need you to wash yourself and to make yourself clean. I just did a teaching on this. Go watch Games of Thrones. It's episode 5. I think it's season 5, episode 10. It talks about the sin walk and what that looks like for the queen, Xerxes. And so when I think about Jamal and the ideal of what it looks like for redemption for him to make it count for us, because this is a bit much. Let us be all clear. And so I think that he owes the church itself to do what we call the deed of redemption, the deed of the walk of shame. And that is for us to really buy into this package he's selling. He needs to really do some different things that he hasn't done before, because he continues to do the same thing over and over again. As you well stated and pointed out, go back and look at how it is with the children. What he did is, he hopes that we forget that they were the children that he had outside of his marriage or during the time that he was married. And what he does, he comes back, he'll show you the children, you all forgive them, and he go back to business as usual. So we need to require something different from Jamal Bryant, fortunately. I hope that y'all hear this on tonight, because if we don't, that means that he sold us again and y'all bought it again. We cannot continue to allow this to happen, because if the goal is to safeguard the church in some ways, we do understand the human element, but we also understand the fact that there's harm that is done if we don't require Jamal to do what's necessary. Jamal provided an apology to the LGBTQ community. I said, well, Jamal needs to go on an apology tour. Well, where's the mom of John? Did you give her an apology? There is I won't say that here, but because that may not be true, but based on what we're hearing, there may be another baby. And so the truth is, Jamal Bryant has wronged people, and he has done it in the public space. And we as women are not able to recover like men do in the church. My dissertation is all about this. If we talk about the woman who was caught in the act of adultery, I asked, if y'all find the man in the 21st century, please bring them here, because who was left holding the bag? The woman. She's the only one at the stoning committee, right? And the man is nowhere to be found. And so we need to require something from Jamal Bryant, unfortunately for the church. Now, he might not be willing to do that, because even with this, he gave a response to say, I could have a private life. Yes, you can, sir, but what does that mean? Right? He's playing games with us way too much. And we've accepted it, and that's pretty sad. And that, to me, yes, that's pretty sad. So again, to your point about this ideal of redemption, there should be a requirement. I would say, this is just me with my pastor hat on. Can he go on an apology tour publicly? The same way he shamed these rumors in the public, can he provide an apology to them in the public? I think that's their minimum.
Let me say something, and then I got a question I want to actually come out the chat. Ann Brock, the All Black Church, says he has 6 in all. That's not true. Jamal, I would say alleged, because there is no, from my understanding, there is no DNA test.
Right.
So
Correct.
It gives him the ability to not have to claim that child. Right. Here is the thing, though, right? Mm-hmm. He was not helping with that baby and wasn't going to claim that baby until I started talking about that baby and the baby mama. Mm-hmm. And then Larry Reed got wind of it and started making inquiries to reach out to that baby mama to find out about that baby. Once all of this started hitting the YouTube streets, Jamal came up with some kind of understanding with the mama. She getting a check, a cash app or something. And Larry Reed had said that on his channel. that he is paying monthly for a baby that he won't acknowledge. Why would a man do that?
Yeah, so that's the question I asked him. And and this is the thing, he's locked down New Birth, meaning he's the president of the board and he's a pastor. So he doesn't owe us anything, because how he should respond will come from the church. It doesn't come from us, right?
Let me ask you this question. The Hell of One said, if your beef was with Jamal, why did you have Giselle humiliated at that reunion?
Okay, so let's clear this up. There wasn't a beef for Jamal. Let's frame this correctly. Jamal's behavior caused the beef. Okay, so you can't forget that, right? Jamal was not forthright, and he wasn't trustworthy, and he wasn't honest. So if you're talking about this ideal of how Giselle got pulled into this, you need to go to the person to ask them that question. Who is Monique? And again, the historical backdrop of the story of how Monique and I got together is in All About the Teas interview. I was interviewing Monique, and before I interview any celebrities, so-called celebrities, I get to know them first.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. I was laughing when she said our so-called celebrity because, that's more like Monique because she's definitely not a celebrity. But let's be clear. If Jamal Bryant indeed is paying this woman that he has not claimed to have a child with in public and is only claiming 6 children and not the 7th, then what does that make him? And I want to know what you guys think, because I feel that this proposal for marriage and him talking about you listen, this is just what he said.
I can't tell you how happy I am, how happy my family is, how happy my children are, and I hope my church is happy for me. I want you to know from me. I want you to know from me. I want you to know from me why it is that I wanted to marry this woman. Is not just because she's beautiful, but because she's brilliant, because she is anointed, and she makes me a better man, and I'm grateful. I wanted to marry her because I wanted her to be the moon, because I don't want there to be a night that I don't see her. I wanted her to...
Stop it. Stop it with the shenanigans and trying to be poetic.
I wanted her to be the sun, to be a reminder that the dark season of my life is over. I wanted her to be a rainbow, just to be a reminder that God's promise is still good for my life. And I wanted her to be the rain, to let me know that the harvest is coming. And so for 5 years, you've just had a pastor. But going forward for the rest of my days, you're going to have a first lady. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Let me say to you, New Birth, we are...
I'm sorry, I could not help it. I had to pause it for a moment when he was trying to be so poetic and eloquent with his words. And I wanted her to be the moon and the sun and the... Child, she ain't none of that. And you ain't any of it either. And to say that God put it together or God told you to marry this woman... No, I feel like it's a good look for his political career ambitions and also making an honest woman out of her, because I believe that he's been screwing the woman for a while now. And I recall, I don't know if Tasha K talked about it on YouTube or one of the lives that she did on her app. But she shared, and this was a few months ago, that she saw Jamal Bryant with this woman, and it's this same woman. I didn't know anything about her until Tasha K had shared about the two of them, okay? And I think she called her the the BBL pastor. So I feel that it has nothing to do with God, and it's all about what is best for him. But listen, if he has a child that he's not claiming in the public, and he just wanted to give this woman some money, either on the regular or a lump sum, whatever it was, to keep her silent, then that's messed up. Being the supposed man of God and having all of these people that are the parishioners of his church is crazy. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. I have Alicia Thomas's full video in the description box if you want to go check it out. If you do, please subscribe to her YouTube channel. But guys, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.